Five of Pentacles coming up as your underlying energy. So yeah, this could be rejection. This is struggling. This is the poverty card, right? Feeling left out in the cold. It's a struggle. And poverty can be financial poverty. It can be emotional poverty. It's lack. I don't have anything. I don't have enough. I'm not getting what I need. And that's going to be hard for you. Why? Because you're working like a bloody dog at something. Now, for some of you, let's just at a very literal read, very literal. You know, I don't do that. I read the energies. But if you're going to go at a very mundane, literal level, this is someone who doesn't have any money and they're looking for a job. Something that they're ready to apply themselves at, really work hard. I don't get that. What I'm getting here is more, for the majority of me, that's going to apply to someone, of course. It's such a, obvious thing to say. But what I'm getting here with the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like, yeah, you don't mind putting in the work. Yeah, you're focused, with the Eight of Pentacles at the heart of this. This is something I really want to get my teeth into. I really want to make this work. But you just feel like it's a struggle. I don't think you're enjoying it. And you're meant to enjoy it with the Eight of Pentacles. There's a purpose to it. There's a purpose to the work that you put in here. Why you're so focused on it. Why you're so diligent. Why you're trying to perfect what you do. It's the apprenticeship card. This person wants to gain mastery at what they're doing. It's their long-term security and their stability. But guys, it just feels like either there's been some kind of a rejection or that it's become such a struggle. What I'm getting from these two is like, what's the point of doing this? Like, what is the point of that? It may be like, what's the point of having, I don't know, I've got 10,000 in the bank, but what's the bloody point of that? It feels like I'm this out because I don't have anyone to share it with. It's that kind of energy. It feels like those people that have the money, that are great, they're doing really well at their job. It just doesn't, they're not enjoying it. That's what's coming in here with that Five of Pentacles. It still feels like a struggle, and it just feels like the struggle isn't worth it, or what you're having to go through, it just doesn't feel worth it. Now you'll see why I'm saying that as we go forward. But then we have the Ace of Wands coming up as a past energy. And the Ace of Wands in the past, this is like a spark, inspiration, passion. So I'm going to ask you, Cancer, when was the last time you felt this? Because this could be last week, last month, last year. It's coming up as the past, the foundation. So it kind of feels like you got into something because you were very excited, very passionate. It was that spot, your inspiration. You were inspired to do this. So you got into it, put effort and time into it. And yet still you're kind of shivering out in the cold, struggling. Like this that's how it feels. I'm saying it doesn't make sense, but that's because that's the energy. That's what I'm getting for you. You've probably sat there shaking your head thinking, this doesn't make sense. Why? Why does it feel this way? The moon tells you why it feels this way. So we have the moon in the present. And this is confusion. For those, this can go in so many different ways, but for those of you that there was a rejection, right? Whether it's work, relationship, whatever. This is where the confusion comes in, and you don't understand. Why did I get rejected when I did everything? And I didn't just do everything. Went over and aboard, and I did it so well, and it started off so well. It started off with so much fire and so much passion. Whether that's the relationship, whether that's the job, some of you might have gotten the sack or something, it's that kind of energy. And there's confusion here. Now, for others of you, if we're looking at why this doesn't mean anything to you, if you're okay, you're doing it, this is a feeling. Even though it's pentacles are usually tangible, right? It always says help's available, right? But with the moon coming up here, you may not see that help. And you may be struggling just doing it on your own with the Eight of Pentacles. That's one person sitting there working away by themselves at something. The moon says to you, you can't trust what you see around yourself right now. Yes, there's confusion. There may even be secrets. But the moon is a card of illumination. You guys should know that, you're Cancer, right? It's the card for Pisces, but that's your ruler, the moon. And so this is about looking at your feelings, looking at your intuition, trusting that. Because what happens when the moon comes out, if you're looking down the path that you're on, all you see are the shadows. Those are your fears, those are your doubts. So for some of you, I'm just going to say, I don't really actually like this term, but that lack mentality. But it's that, let me explain that. It's that thing of, do I even deserve this, or will it ever work, or those stories. And we all have this. We all have that self-criticism. We all have this kind of stuff that we go through, that we say about ourselves. It's never going to work, never happens. I always get rejected. I always meet losers. No one ever, work is always like this. It's that. And yet with the moon says, all right, look in the shadows. What's in the shadows? Now, if there were actual shadows on your path, you can't say what's in the shadows because you can't see. That's the whole point. It's in shadow. And yet your mind's going to come up with a million different things. There's a dog waiting there to attack me. There's a ditch. I'm going to fall and break my neck. There's someone waiting to mug me when I go past. You won't actually know what's in the shadows until you walk the path, until you go down there. So for those of you that need help, ask for it. There is always help available with the Five of Pentacles. Even if someone says no to you for the help that you need, that's very telling with the Five of Pentacles, because then you know who has your back and who doesn't. I just feel for a lot of you that this is a lack of support more than anything else. And it might be because there's things that are secret. You're not actually saying that, I need help or I need support. This is how people see you. Eight of Pentacles. Good old Cancers, working away, doing it, getting it done. We'll go have coffee, or, you're the only one making that friendship work or the relationship work. So it can go in a number of different ways. And that's going to be harsh, guys, especially when we start off like this. But this is what I'm saying with the moon coming up. Understand here what your fears are, what your doubts are, why it is that you can't say anything or do something different, why you're struggling by yourself, why. Figure that out first. Because when you do that, when you walk the path on faith, when you think, screw it, I'm going to go down there, I'll say my fears, or I'll confront the fears, or I'll do whatever it is that's keeping you stuck in this situation. When you do that, and the moon urges you to do that, where it leads is the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups, it's the happily ever after. It's the end game. It's the dream, right? It's our true heart's desire. Now, this is the opposite of this, struggling out there by yourself. That's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of rejection. This is home. This is family. This is where we're accepted. I don't just mean family. Family isn't always blood. Have a look here, there's a couple with their baby. So this is that feeling where we belong. Home. This is Ten of Cups is home, which is a big deal for you guys, right? But that's it. Have a look. We've got all pentacles here. So this is the physical, the practical, what's been shown, what's been done. This is the emotional, and that's what's been lacking. That's why you feel like this, because the emotional aspect has been missing for you. It's not fulfilled you at a heart level, because you want to share this with other people. There might be some of you watching this and you have money and stuff, but there's no one to share it with. Like I said, that's what I was getting before. Or there's no one that has your back. You don't mind putting in the work. You'll do it, but it's like, where do I put in the work? I don't even know where to go. Someone point me in the right direction. I'll go in that direction. But every direction I look, there's shadows there. And, it's one of the things that I always tell my clients as well, that a reading like this, it's Google Maps. Now, you don't go to Google Maps and say, where should I go? Or what you might put in, like, I don't know, you want a beautician's or a baker's or something. You put that in and it will give you your options, but you still pick, right? All Google Maps does is show you your hair, and this is what you have available around you. And that's what a reading does. That's what a reading does. And that's what the moon is saying. The moon's saying you need to pick the direction that you want to go in. And, yes, you might not see it, but then you might be looking like this is the practical, physical. Earth is always things we can see, feel, and touch. And I can't believe, yes, I'm saying this to Cancer in a water season of all times, that what is your dream, guys? And I've been saying this to a lot of the signs. People's dreams are changing. People's dreams are changing. Have you been taking the necessary steps that need to be taken, like getting the job done? It's so strange. When I looked at the time and it was 11:11 on the timer for the recording, as I said that. So with the Ten of Cups coming up here, it's about you. What's going to make you, it's your heart's desire. And trusting that when you follow your heart's desire, truly what's going to make you happy, you will find people to share it with. You will find people to share it with. Now, how do we get here? How do we get to this beautiful future of this happily ever after where, it's our heart's desire, the completion of that emotional cycle? By tearing it all down. We have the Tower coming in here. This is shocking change, guys. This is shocking change. Now, this can go a couple of ways with the Page of Pentacles coming up. This might be that you make, all right, you make it or you receive it, but some kind of an offer comes in different from this. And it seems like it's something little. But I want you to remember this. If we're stuck here, lack, not really seeing anything, huddling to stay warm, I'm, all alone and crippled by our fears, not trusting our emotions. Why is it? Why have you detached from your emotions? That's one thing to ask yourself. And I get it. Trust me, I understand why people do that. But why have you done that? Because we always do that when we're trying to protect ourselves. Was it too much of a struggle? I don't know, so if you guys have watched like Vampire Diaries or something, it's almost like, when they turn off their emotions, that's what kind of feels like. And it's time to turn it back on. Because that's your divine guidance system. The only thing that's kind of there is fear at the moment that I'm picking up. Confusion. I don't know what's going on. But your heart is what guides you with the Ten of Cups coming in. So the Tower, whatever this Page of Pentacles is, let's talk about him. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there. I talked about Vampire Diaries. But yeah, the Page of Pentacles, pages are the beginning energy, right? Something that is of value to you. I want to say that again. Something that is of value to you. Not that you are of value to someone else, but that is of value to you. This can be, I've seen this in readings be everything from an engagement ring to contract for a house, a job. It's some kind of an offer, but it's usually something small. Like even engagement doesn't sound small, but it's the ring, right? That's what this represents. It's the ring. It's the promise of a marriage, the promise of long-term stability, security, and support. But it's something small. It's a token. This could even be like someone paying for dinner or something when you go out on a date. It's that. It's something that looks small. Page of Pentacles is the student. They look at the details. It can be repetitive. It can be boring, but they do it. Now, for you, with the Page of Pentacles coming in, and this sits underneath the Ace of Wands, I'm really getting that you might be putting in a lot of effort, time, whatever, here, because we're at an 8. But this is going back to the beginning. And you kind of ditch it all to go for something else. You might be considering that. I'd rather take a less well-paid job and at least work with a nicer bunch of people or something, or spend more time with my family. At the moment, all I'm doing is working. And so I don't even get to spend time with them, right? It's that kind of energy. Or if it's a relationship, it might be that, just going to say this, that you kind of accept another offer. That you've been putting in time and effort into one area, maybe dating a certain type of person or doing whatever it is. But it's something new. And it seems really small. If you tried to explain this to someone, that's what the shocking aspect of the Tower is. Maybe you're the linchpin of something, whatever, a relationship, a family, or whatever it is. But it's about you following what makes you happy. Do you understand that, Cancer? That's what the whole thing is here. And maybe I think for some of you, the fears and doubts that are coming in here, it's because of this. But it's that point of, well, if I feel like shit anyway, and I keep putting all this effort into something, then I might as well just do something for myself. I'm not making anyone happy in this situation. And that's what's kind of coming through here. This is planting a new seed. You're doing something new. And I get it. And this makes complete sense to me why you would be afraid to do this. Because it's like you taking one tiny little step, planting a new seed, doing this little offer, this new thing that you're thinking about. That's all you need to do. And it brings the house down with the Tower. It really does. And you have 2 aces here. Now, I'm thinking with this, with the Ace of Wands in the past, yes, there was passion, there was excitement, whatever. Maybe you didn't do anything about it. Or it kind of got started, but you kind of got lost. Or, some of you might have wanted to start a business. But you've been so busy working, it doesn't make you happy because you don't have time with your family. You don't do this. This could be someone deciding to start working from home. But it's one little thing. And it shakes everything up. It turns your whole world upside down. But in a really great way. The Ace of Pentacles, that's like the Sun card in the Minor Arcana. This is something small. That's all I can keep getting from this. Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. It's something that begins very small. It's very tiny. And it shakes everything up. But it gets you to this.